Hey there, welcome to ITV. I'm Ambika Kulburgi. Later on Imagination, we have a special interview segment with the stars of the new Hindi movie Force. But on ITV right now, we have another special show with highlights of a welcome reception given to India's new ambassador to the United States, Nirupama Rao. The reception was given by the Indian American community of the Washington, D.C. metro region in cooperation with NCAIA, GOPIO, ICCC, and other area associations on September 18th in Potomac, Maryland.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mohan Mistry, and on behalf of Washington Hebrew Congregation, I welcome you all to our temple here in Potomac.
आज की ये खुशनुमा शाम आप सबके नाम आज की ये खुशनुमा शाम आप सबके नाम चलो हम सब मिलकर करते हैं भारत की नई राजदूत का स्वागत व सम्मान। This evening it is my distinct pleasure and a great privilege to welcome all of you when we honor and felicitate Her Excellency Nirupama Rao, the new Ambassador of India to United States of America in our nation's capital here in Washington, D.C. On behalf of the Indian American community of Greater Metropolitan Washington, D.C. area, we offer a very special, warm and heartfelt welcome to Ambassador Nirupama Rao as she assumed the role of Ambassador of India to USA as a second woman during India's 65 years of independence.
Friends, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Ambassador, I not only echo this sentiment that's so eloquently expressed by Dr. Renuka Mistro, but also I'd like to add that during the 41 years of my association in the Indian American community of Washington area and my association with the Indian ambassador for the last 40 years, I have never witnessed this kind of interest and enthusiasm to welcome an ambassador of India to USA, what is happening this evening. The presence of all of you is a testimony how much they admire you, love you, and they feel, to quote one of the senior-most Indian American in this country, an icon. He is today 92 years old. Only Padma Shri in nation's capital, Mr. Rajan Devdas. Madam Ambassador, when your appointment news came, he quoted that it is a new dawn of fresh air in the diplomacy in Washington, unquote. So thank you, Dada, for your beautiful quote. That shows the feelings and sentiments that we have got from younger generation to the most senior-most person in this hall, Mr. Rajan Devdas. Please give a round of applause to him for his coming. Now I request Mrs. Pramila Gupta to present a bouquet of flowers to Mr. Sudhakar Rao.
Our first gold sponsor is Washington Consular Service Inc. Our next gold sponsor is none other than our own Manju and Sunil Singh of Papa John Pizza. Our third gold sponsor is President and CEO of India Global Capital Inc., Mr. Ram Mukunda, a great community activist, leader, a supporter.
In addition, I also want to recognize a lot of journalists here present. And first of all, Mr. Aziz Hanifa, Bala Chandran, Imagine Asian TV. Bala, where are you? Srimukh Manku, TV Asia. Geeta Goindi, Express India and India This Week. Geeta. Lalit Jha, Jay Chin, are you here? Asia Fortune. KP Nair, Hasmukh Shah, and Asif Ismail.
This event could not have been possible without the solid and united cooperation of the organizing committee. At this time, I want all the organizing committee to stand up, please. So that they will unite. Yeah. I am one of the most fortunate persons in Washington to have such a dedicated group of community activists who have worked round the clock to make this event such a colorful and such a memorable one.
Dhanyavad. I would speak in Hindi, but I'm afraid I'd make too many grammatical mistakes. So I'm going to limit myself to English in the few remarks I make to you today. I feel very privileged, honored to have been invited to this event in the capital community area, an event sponsored by the Indian American community in honor of the new Indian ambassador to the United States, Her Excellency Nirupana Rao. I'm honored for two reasons. One is to the fact that I was accepted as a member of the community. In fact, it might be better to say I'm the son-in-law of the community, since my wife is an Indian who keeps an active role in Indian affairs and goes to India frequently. She is a businesswoman who has a factory in India. And in fact, I can hear her Hindi every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and at 10 o'clock at night because she's on the telephone to her factory. And I know exactly what her mood is by the conversations she has. And secondly, I'm honored to be here because of my admiration for the person who was selected by her government to be India's ambassador to the United States. As many of you know, this is the second time that Ambassador Rao has served at the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C. And as I understand, a fourth time she's been in the United States on various kinds of assignments. She was earlier here as the Minister of Press from 1993 to 1995, when I first came to know her well. The early 1990s, as many of you know, was a time for those who followed U.S.-Indian relations. It was a time when there was a change from what had been a rather sour relationship to something that was to become much more substantial in the bilateral relations of our two great democracies. Ironically, she and I had similar jobs. She was the press person who explained Indian policy to a broad American audience, and my job at the time in the State Department was to explain India to a senior foreign policy audience in the United States State Department.